So yes, money tip number one is bootstrapping. So make sure starting off with essentially your own time, effort, and money to see if the concept of your business is validated. So you want to validate your idea before you can either kind of take it to a venture capitalist. And the main reason for this is control. For me, it's control. So I own all my business. I don't have venture capitalist money. I don't have other funding money. And it means I keep control of my business, which is really great for me. It means I can essentially have freedom to do work when I want to. I don't have to answer to kind of investors, or I don't answer to other kind of business owners. I can choose how I run my business, which for me, that's great. It might not be good for everyone, but essentially I think bootstrapping, if you're starting a business today, bootstrapping is the best way to do it. It's never been easier or cheaper to start your own business. So all you need is a laptop, internet connection, and even you can do Instagram, an idea on Instagram, and then you can start actually starting your own business. So mindset tip number one is to bootstrap your business idea. So we're covering business ideas and business mindset. So yeah, essentially doing it yourself, pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, and yeah, investing your time, energy, and money into that business. So tip number two for starting your own business, so mindset business number two, is essentially starting small and then going big. So what do I mean by this? Essentially, you need to test your business idea. So don't put loads of money into the concept of your idea before you test it small. So you want to be testing it, do micro testing. Go to your friends, your family, or people you know, and testing that idea. Is it going to work, first of all, before investing loads of money into this business idea? So this was a big mindset change for me. And yes, essentially testing small. And it's never been easier just to put a Facebook, you can even put a Facebook ad up and testing if that's going to work. If you're going to, or just a piece of paper, a sign-up sheet, and just essentially going to test that idea before you start investing lots of money into a business idea that may not work or hasn't been tested. So it's all about testing that idea, first of all. So, and it focuses away from what doesn't work to what does work. So testing that idea to making sure it works small, and then essentially making sure that kind of idea works big. So that's concept number two. So essentially, yeah. And once you've got that business idea working small, then you can test and refine it and improve it and build that idea up yourself to actual concept of a business that's going to generate profits, which is the whole point of a business. So a business is taking away pain from someone or providing massive pleasure. So that's essentially what a business is, at a profit. And that's what a business is. And that's what looking to do in a business. So mindset change number one, bootstrapping is best. Mindset two is starting off small and building up big. So starting a business, step three is 80% of the stuff you do isn't going to work. And for me, that was quite a bitter pill to swallow, because you kind of think that you have this idea that you kind of created and you think it's going to be kind of some kind of revolutionary idea, but actually you have to understand that most of the stuff you do isn't going to work. So most of the stuff you test or do, especially social media, this is the first time I'm doing this Instagram live, so I don't know if this is going to work. We've got 4 people watching already, so it seems like this testing might be a good idea. But essentially, with starting your own business, today we're talking about business mindset and entrepreneurial mindset and investing mindset, and essentially, yeah, testing it to see if it's going to work. So, and understanding 80% of the stuff you do isn't going to work. And yeah, understanding that and not getting kind of too upset that it's not working and it's just testing and refining. So but the good news is 20% of the stuff you do will work. And then it's using that, they talk about the 80-20 principle. So Pareto principle of the path of least resistance. So 80% of the stuff you do won't work, but focusing on the 20% of stuff that does work. And yeah, doubling down on that 20%. So focusing on what that 20% of your business is successful, and then essentially doing more of that and creating more value for other people. So yeah, and looking, you have to kind of be an optimist in the long term. So you starting especially an entrepreneurial business which hasn't been something, you're doing something new that hasn't been tested before, is essentially quite risky in the short term, but in the long term. So it's never been a better time to start your own business. It's never been a better time to create your own product or service that you're going to offer to the market. So many people today are kind of scared to start your own business, but it's the biggest opportunity, kind of what I call the arbitrage of knowledge, the biggest place where your time, energy, and effort you can put into that. That might be on the weekend, that might be after you finish work. It's the biggest upside to essentially unlimited value. If you create a business, think of Facebook that's just started in someone's dorm room, Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room, and the upside of that is massive. So today the biggest opportunity is starting your own business. So coming back to point 3, but 20% of the things you do will work, but then again 80% of the things you do won't work. And it's understanding that as an entrepreneur, you've got to kind of almost take that hit, take the pain of it not working all the time. And it's about testing and refining and taking what does work and then kind of creating something better. So that is tip number 3. So building on what you've learned and what learning, and essentially you've got to kind of be pretty resilient and think of that kind of back to, like evolution of a business. So coming back to kind of the evolution of Darwin. So it's not the kind of it's the ones that it's not the fittest that survive, it's the ones that it's going to change the most. And it's the same with a business. So changing it and adding value and kind of evolving over time. You can't always, the business that I thought I was making initially is kind of different to what the business that I am today. Like things happen, like coronavirus happened, and as an entrepreneur you have to kind of have that mindset shift. And so my original plan for Money Tips was to have and essentially get people into a room and teach them how to invest. But obviously things like coronavirus means that you're not always going to have that things are always not going to work out. So having that kind of mentality and the mindset that you can change and focusing on the 20% of things that do work and then doubling down on that. So that's point 3. So point 4 is your business isn't a job. So if you're starting a business, it's not a job, and you've got to think differently than a job. So it's not a 9-to-5 job where you go into work and you get paid for your time that you're there. So essentially, when I was in the corporate world, once you have your job and you get kind of half decent at your work, you can kind of go in and essentially clock watch almost. A lot of people I know do that. And essentially you turn up at the right time, you leave at the right time, and you're going to get paid. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, this is not the way that business works, unfortunately. So you get paid as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, for the value that you create. So you get paid for solving people's problems, giving people value, and getting people results. So what are the results you're creating? What problems are you solving? So that's a big mindset shift change for me. So it's not about putting in the hours. Like even if you're doing 12, 14 hours of work, that's great, but are you actually solving people's problems? Are you actually giving people massive pleasure or taking people's pain? I've got to let my cat in. So, you come in. So mindset shift change 4 is your business isn't a job. You get paid on the results you create. You get paid for how much value you offer to other people. And for me, that was a big kind of mindset change. It's not a job, it's getting paid to create value. And that's essentially what an entrepreneur is. So you're taking a value from the low area of production and putting it into an area of high production. So this might be, so with me, I offer coaching. So essentially we take people who might not necessarily understand much about investing. So today everyone's an investor, and we take them from where they starting out. And essentially my main aim is to reduce people's stress and worry. So we give them mindset training where you have enough knowledge and understanding to not stress about the ups and downs of the market anymore. So that was a big mindset change for me. So what results are you creating? What problems are you solving? Are you taking away people's pain, or are you giving people massive value? And are these meaningful problems? So that was a mindset change for me. So essentially, yeah, it's moving away from where you go to a job. It's almost like being a child where you get paid to, you know, you don't necessarily, like, your dinner's always going to be on the table when you, as a child. When I was a kid, like, you always turn up and your food's on the table. You don't have to worry about cooking. You don't have to worry about buying the food. As a business owner, it's almost like that level of step of complexity. You've got to work out how the next paycheck is going to come in. You've got to work out who's going to be paying you for your services. And this is quite a big challenge. So that's mindset number 4. So yeah, just if you've turned up now, just to summarize, I'm giving essentially 10 mindset changes of a business owner. So what you can do as a business owner to change your mindset around investing and around entrepreneurship. So we're going to do these lives every Thursday at 8 o'clock. We're going to do them on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're going to cover different subjects. We've got a lunch and learn on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And we've got a Thursday session at my cat is meowing. A Thursday session at 7:30. It's going to be a networking event as well. So come along for that on Thursday. So that's my cat. So if you've joined us today, so my name's Neil Doig. I am the author of Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. The creator of Football Formation Asset Allocation, and the founder of Money Tips. So we're different. We offer education. We aim to educate and inspire and coach better investing. So starting with a pound coin in your back pocket to help you live a better life. So let's just summarize. So essentially, the 4 ones we've talked about so far. So bootstrapping your business. So if you're an entrepreneur, it's much better to bootstrap. So by that, I mean using your own time, energy, and money to start a business rather than going out and getting funded. That's my own opinion, because you keep control of your business and you don't have to answer to anyone. The next step is to start small and then create big. So test and refine, see what's working small, and then you can double down on that and essentially see what's profitable and what's not. So we talk about 80% of the stuff you try won't work, which is a bit of for me, it's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. You've got to test and refine. You've got to try lots of different things as an entrepreneur, because you're creating something different, and it's quite often difficult to know what is a value in the eyes of the customer. And you have to test that and, you know, offer lots of kind of different products and build and work on that. Then we talked about your business isn't a job. So as an entrepreneur, your business isn't a job. So I was in the corporate world doing kind of a 9 to 5, and you would turn up at 9 o'clock, stay to 5 o'clock, and you'd get paid. You'd do a certain number of kind of tasks on the checklist, but essentially every month you'd get a paycheck in. And that's completely different as a business owner. You've got to provide value, you've got to provide results, and you've got to provide essentially, solve people's problems or provide massive value. So yeah, coming on to step 5. So you get paid for the value you create. You don't get paid for the time. You're not like a shop worker where you're there 9 to 5 getting paid hourly, or a salaried employer getting paid a salary every month. Like after you've got your job interview, you get your job offer, and then you get paid essentially a salary unless you get fired. But with a business owner or as an entrepreneur, you get paid by the much value you create. So the more value you create for more people, then the more money you're going to get. So money is the outcome of setting up a number of different systems and providing results for that person, and they're going to pay you money for that. So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah. So number 6, I've said cracking the code. So I haven't actually cracked the code yet. So, but yeah, trying to figure out what works and then essentially doubling down on that. So what is cracking the code? So it's about having kind of a long-term mindset. So if you need the money instantly, if you're going into business and you're trying to extract money from people instantly, that's not going to work. It's about thinking long-term. It's being a business owner is thinking, not just months, but years in advance. If you're actually taking the business seriously and you're going to actually think you're going to create a business, it's building assets that are going to create an income over time. And building assets takes time, and you don't often get that money back instantly. But it's not actually focusing on the money, getting money itself. It's focusing on the value and the assets you create that are going to provide that income long term. So a good example is my book, Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, that took me 3 years of writing every day to create what I think is the ultimate investment guide. But the time I worked, literally hours, hundreds of hours of work, have I got that back yet? No, from the hours I work. But the idea, that's now an asset that people go on Amazon and buy, and that's going to be there for, until Amazon disappears. So that's going to be there still 5, 10, 15 years time. That book's still going to be there. And if it's good, and if people talk about it, and if it solves problems, that's going to provide an income for me for years to come. So it's, as a business owner, and an entrepreneur, you've got to kind of think about this. I'm just going to wave to a few people who are joining. So, thanks for joining us. We're going through mindset and how you can improve your mindset. We're just talking specifically for entrepreneurs, business owners, or if you're thinking about starting your own side hustle, then we're going to go through the 10 mindset changes that you need to think about as a business owner. So we've covered a number of different ones. So we were going through what is cracking the code of business. So how do you work out what is cracking this code of business? So I'm still trying to work this out, but it's thinking long term. So it's not about taking money instantly. It's about creating assets that are going to provide income for you for the long term. And the longer time frame you have, the more powerful you are as a business owner. If you don't need the money instantly, you can create more value for the customer, and you can create more services and products that are going to provide more of a value. You're going to solve more problems. You're going to take away pain, and you're providing massive value, massive pleasure. So that's the two things a business owner looks for. So you want to take away pain, and you want to give massive pleasure, and you want to do that profitably. So that's the key to a business or an entrepreneur. So that's kind of cracking the code of businesses. So essentially, why are you creating a business? To give a better life for yourself and your family. So the reason I started a business was potentially to free up my time to choose what I want to do, and to do something that, good thing about business is you can choose anything. You can choose anything that you want on business. So the best thing to do is choose something that you're good at. So understand your strengths and understand your weaknesses, and then essentially doubling down on that. Where have you been successful in the past at doing this? Where have people complimented you on the past? Or where have people asked for your expertise? So business success comes from doing lots of things right. So that's quite challenging. It's a bit like, the way I think about it, it's a bit like a car. So to get a car moving, there's lots of different moving parts. There's loads of, you look under the bonnet, there's pistons, there's kind of engines, there's gas that's going to go in and kind of fuel up the car. And if one thing doesn't work in this business, then the car's not going to go forward. But it's building up, this car, and essentially it's all got to work together. And I'm still trying to work this out. You call it like a value ladder, where it kind of takes someone from not knowing you, from what they call cold traffic, where no one knows you, likes you, or trusts you, to essentially to the end result. And you've got to do this. The idea is to do it, if you want to do it at scale, you can do this automatically. So have automatic systems in place that are going to do this. And this is one of the challenges that I'm working on at the moment, building systems that are going to, essentially, that can replace you, can still give that value, but without you needing to be there to exchanging your time for money. And then you could also do this at scale. So it doesn't matter if you're doing this for one person or 100 people. if you can automate this, then that's the kind of one of the secrets to business. So yeah, it's essentially doing lots of things together is going to create business success, and having a strategy in place and knowing your marketing strategy, knowing your operations strategy, knowing your sales strategy, providing that operations is going to provide that value to the customer. So that's one of the things you need to do. So yeah, so that's business success comes from when I do things right all at the same time. So the next money mindset idea is that revenue isn't the same as profit. So we're talking about money mindset. So if you're starting your own business, side hustle, this Instagram Live is for you. We do these every Thursday. And yeah, at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to do these at 8 o'clock on Thursday, kind of business mindset. And so, yeah, revenue isn't the same as profit. So it's much more impressive to say revenue than actual profit. But profit is what you have in your hand after you take into account the costs. So this might be advertising. This might be the cost of the product. This might be staff that you might have to pay to get someone to do this. So yeah, it's actually it's doing this. So revenue. So you want to aim for profit, not revenue. So revenue is what money comes in, but then it also including your costs. Whereas profits is the money you take home in your pocket after you pay for tax, after you pay for the cost of your goods, the cost of your the cost of your adverts as well. So that's money mindset change number 8. So we've got 10. So 10 mindsets. So we're going to do these every Thursday at 8 o'clock. We're going to go through kind of entrepreneurship, kind of mindset changes. So yeah, thanks for joining us. So mindset change number 9 for a business owner is you're 100% responsible, which is quite a hard task to take because there's no one to blame but yourself. When things don't go wrong, when things don't go right, I mean, things go wrong, they're going wrong because of you, and that's me included. So things go wrong, yeah, you can't blame yourself. You can't blame other people. I mean, you have to take on that responsibility, which is quite hard because yeah, if things aren't going right, the only thing that's going wrong is you. So you've got to take that responsibility. So with the job, you can blame the boss. You can say, oh, the boss didn't tell me to do that. You can blame the person who trained you because they didn't give you enough training. You can blame the procedure because the procedure might not be right. Or you can go to your HR department and kind of complain that you're being treated unfairly or whatever. But as a business owner, if you're starting your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, it's 100% down to you. It's not working, then yeah, it's down to you, not anyone else, which is, in a way, it's quite empowering because you can change it yourself. But in a way, it's quite, can be quite demoralizing because, yeah, it's you and, yeah, maybe you didn't do things right, you maybe messed up, or maybe it's your motivation, you didn't put enough hours or you didn't do enough training yourself. So, yeah, that was quite, quite a bitter, understanding. You need to understand that everything is down to you. But yeah, as I said, it's quite empowering that actually it's down to you and you can make the changes that's going to improve your business. So mindset change number 10, right, let's go through them before we get to number 10. So just to summarize, my name is Neil Doig. I am the author of Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. The creator of Football Formation Asset Allocation. And yeah, we're going through the 10 business challenges that you see in having your own business and kind of how you can resolve these. So thanks so much for joining me on the Instagram Lives. I'm going to do these at 8 o'clock every Thursday. We've got other sessions, so check those out if you want to invest your money better. So number 10 is your success comes from action. So it's so easy to not take action, but as a business owner, you have to make sure you take action and make sure you do things that are going to put you in the right direction with your business. So yeah, take an action. But let's go through the 10 steps that we've gone through today. And so starting your own business, bootstrapping is best. So starting your own business is best when you don't have, I prefer not having, actually having go and can get funding yourself as a business owner. Today, it's never been easy to start your own business. It's never been, you can start with an internet connection. You can start with Instagram, or you can do it with, or interconnection at PC and Instagram. You basically got your own business compared to 100 years ago when you would need a factory to start your own business. So number 2, make it small, then scale big. So make sure it's working small, get one customer signed up for it. If that customer's happy, then you can essentially keep doing that and see what works and what doesn't work. And number 3 is 80% of the stuff you do won't work, which is quite, it can be quite challenging sometimes. But then the good thing is 20% of the things you do will work, and it's doubling down on that. So then number 4 is your business isn't a job. So this is another mindset change. So your business isn't a job. So your business is solving people's problems, it's providing value, it's getting results for people. So rather than a job where you go to a job from 9 to 5 and you do a number of tasks, and whatever happens, even if you do a bad job or you don't manage to do anything, you're still going to get paid that salary, or still going to pay that annual wage. As a business owner, you get paid for the results that you bring, which is a downside. But then again, it's great because if you provide massive value, then you're going to get paid massive value on the other side. So yeah, coming on to step 5 is you get paid for the value you create. So you get paid for you creating products, services, and essentially what you do as a business owner, you take away pain and provide massive pleasure, and have to do this profitably. So that is what a business is in its core. So essentially you've got to do this profitably, and so it's got to pay for your expenses, you've got to pay for your costs of production, it's got to pay for your time as well. And that is what a business is. So number 6 is trying to crack the code. What's cracking the code? So yeah, it's trying to work out, essentially it's having delayed gratification and thinking long term. So the longer term you think, the easier it is to provide value. So if you're thinking 10, even like 1 to 5 years in advance and not trying to get that money straight away, then you have more power as a business owner. So creating assets that are going to provide you an income for when you stop working. So we use the example of my book. So that took 3 years of writing, but now that's now that asset's there, and that's going to be there for 1, 2, 3, 10 years time for the work I've put in before. But that's thinking long term. So number 7 is business success comes from that when you do things in the right order. And we use the car example. So having the engine all connecting perfectly, then turning on that key and then pushing down that accelerator. So if you push the accelerator down before you've turned the engine on, that's not going to work. That car's not going to go. So same with your business. You've got to do things in order to get that business to be profitable and to solve those problems for people. Then 8, we talked about revenue is not the same as profit. So having revenue is the money in, and that's also that takes into account. So, and then profit takes into account things like your costs. So that might be advertising costs, that might be costs of your materials, things like office space, heating, etc. Like that. So that's profit, where you have the actual money in your pocket, whereas revenue is the money that you get in. And that's quite different. You have to understand different. So 9 is you're 100% responsible for your business, which can be quite a bitter pill to swallow, because if things are going wrong, then it's down to you and it's not actually anything that you can do. But the great news is that you're 100% responsible for the value that you add as a business owner. If you're an entrepreneur, it's never been easier to start your own business. And so number 9 of the 10 points that we've gone through today is you're responsible yourself. So you have a responsibility as a business owner to, if things aren't going right, then you can improve them yourself. And that's really powerful as a business owner, because you can actually change things compared to working at a job. So number 10 of the steps of a business or mindset, we're doing these every Thursday, 8 o'clock. So come and join us each Thursday for the other 10 steps. So number 10 of the 10 steps to mindset is taking action. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as someone today, you get paid or you get results by taking action. So I'm a massive procrastinator myself, and it can be challenging to take action, but actually taking a step forward to taking action that's outside of you. This might be responding to a customer, this might be helping someone, this might be starting a book or taking action, starting writing a book for the first time. That's taking action, and that is what you need to do as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you're someone looking to add value today. So so if you take action, and it's consistent action over the long term, so it's not just doing things once and leaving it. It is doing consistent action over long term is one way to add value as a business owner. So we're gonna, those are the 10 steps to starting your own business as an entrepreneur. I've been in business for 2-3 years now, which seems quite scary, but I've learned loads. I've got many scars and kind of lessons that I've learned over the time. I've done loads of things wrong. I've done, I think, quite a few things right as well. So these Thursday sessions at 8 o'clock in the morning people said they wanted to have something before work. So the idea is to come 8 o'clock on these Instagram lives. I'm also doing a Zoom session as well. So if you're on Zoom, come along to that, whatever you prefer. But I've got both of them going. So 8 o'clock on Thursdays and 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays. I'm going to do something different on Tuesday. I'm going to do farmyard finances, which is essentially how to become financially independent and retire early on Thursday morning. 1 o'clock on Tuesday is the 7 mistakes people make constantly as an investor. And then Thursday evening at 7, and we're going to do some networking. So networking, about half an hour, people chat and people. And then 7:30, we're going to do the 3 laws of money accumulation. And we're going to I'll build in a few other each chapters from my book. I'm going to kind of sprinkle that, but 3 laws of money accumulation on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. So keep an eye out for that on Instagram. So please follow me. I've got a podcast. It's called Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. Please subscribe. If you like this Instagram live, then send me a comment, send me a message. Please like some of my posts. I've got a book called Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. I've rewritten it for 2020, and pretty excited to release that. So the idea is going to be releasing it on 31st of October, Halloween. So what a year we've had, 2020. So I thought I'd give something that to prove that the year isn't over yet. And I am also the creator of Football Formation Asset Allocation, which is a card game which teaches you how to invest your money from pound coin in your back pocket. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Neil Doig. I'm the founder of Money Tips, which stands for Tax, Investment, Property, Pension, Savings. We're different. We educate, inspire, and coach better investing, and which means we don't have to pay expensive financial advice fees. So we save you money also from making costly errors. We like passive investing, which saves you thousands of pounds from paying active investors, fund managers, or financial advisors. And we aim to automate your investing, so saves you time, your day. And the aim is to reduce your stress and worry to get good money mindset. So we start off with a scale of 1 to 10 where you are on a money mindset scale. And the aim of the course, we've got a course called Football Formation Asset Allocation. And the idea is to reduce your stress and worry. And we've got a benchmark of reducing your stress and worry. So check out, we've got testimonials of people who have taken our course, and it looks, we've got really good reviews. So check out that course. We're on Udemy. So just type in Udemy and Football Formation Asset Allocation. We're on there. So take the course. We've got the card game, we've got the book, and we've got these sessions as well. So we aim to coach. We do one-to-ones as well if you want to find out more about that. So this is Instagram Live. Thanks so much for joining us. And just keep in touch. Please send us a message. Thanks.